Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Glam Talk. And I can call it season 2 if we call it like that. It's Glam Talk 13. We had 12 episodes behind us, and so this is episode 13. Welcome to it. And this is the show where we get to tell you about the latest developments in the Glam Tech, as well as some of the new things that's happening in the smart home industry. And tonight, we're very excited to showcase a few things for you in regards to what's happening out the Glamtech, of course. And we're talking about the Home Assistant. Mark will tell you more about that. And then we've got something exciting for you. We're talking about the digital display. You need to hang around to find out what that is all about. And then we have talking about communication, security, entertainment again, and then some of the new products and so much more waiting for you on the show. With that, let me quickly say hello to this guy, Mark. Hello to you.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Marco Jacobs. Happy New Year. It is season two. So Happy New Year. I can see now in the background. I've got myself on the screen there because excited for now, brother.
Season 2, brother. Can you believe it? We call it season 2, right? Just like those season movies.
Yeah, this is a sequel.
Guys. Yeah, it is a sequel. And so let us know if you are tuned in or want to say hello to you. But loads to happen on the show, of course, tonight as well. I'll mention a few things, but also in the next few minutes, we'll have Ricardo Burnett as well. So Ricardo is a well-known gospel artist here in the city and in the country, but he's also purchased from Glamtech, and he'll tell you about his experiences and some of the new things that he's undertaking in the next while. But Mark, good to be with you. Although we are apart, but we are together. Wait, I'm going to get my cup quickly. Just you say hello to the folks as I go get my cup quickly.
Yeah, so tonight again, some glam stuff. Thank you for all the new faces that is coming online. We've got some exciting stuff. Marco didn't mention that we also got another giveaway tonight. So tonight we're giving away a book sponsored by Ivor Price. The book is titled For the Love of the Land, and it's also autographed by the one and only Ivor Price. So one lucky, as a subscriber viewer, Glamtechian, will be winning this book tonight. We'll be giving it away, no cost to it. The book connects a lot to what we do. It's maybe not from a smart tech point of view. It's not going to make your house smart if you read the book, but it does connect with the vision of Glamtech. And in terms of that vision, a lot of what we're trying to do is to elevate our communities. This book does exactly that, where it speaks to how young farmers and old farmers and farmers that you wouldn't normally associate as being farmers, how they came up and their story, their background story, and how they made it. So whoever's going to be winning this book, this is a good read. This is a super good read. You must have this. So we're giving that away a bit later. So stay tuned.
So what we're about to do is also bring in our guest as well. He is sitting backstage. We're talking about Ricardo Burnett, of course, and he's excited to be with us. But here's the thing, Mark. I don't know if he hasn't got a cup like this. I mean, you must get a glam.
That's right. I'm actually Marco. When
say hello, yeah.
I've actually need to get Ricardo's cup. I've got his cup here with me. He's not
Shame.
coming to get his cup. Ek weet nie wat aangaan nie.
Ach, dis te full. Let's find out. Let's find out what's happening there. Hello, Ricardo. How are you doing?
Mr. Burnett.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, guys. I'm good. Little bit of back pain, but otherwise I'm good.
Good, man.
Kyk hoe begin hy maar uithaal met backpain maak.
hear me?
Wat gaan dan? Yeah, we can hear
We
you.
hear you.
Can
We hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. I think you need a TP link router. You need to come and purchase from us, Ricardo, TP link.
Can you guys hear
Mesh
me?
router system. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can hear you. Hey, I see the hello, everybody's hello, Connie, hello, Carlo, hi there, Colin. All the C's, Connie, Carlo, and Colin.
All be.
Okay.
So, Ricardo, I don't know if you can hear us. I'm not too sure what's happening on your side, but if you can hear us, let's quickly find out.
I just put my head.
Okay, so if you can hear us, give us a thumbs up there quickly. Okay. So
Okay.
let's quickly bring you in. I know you in studio and you got to go back to whatever you guys are busy with there at the moment. But let's talk about Ricardo Burnett. Introduce yourself quickly, and then we want to talk about your smart home journey, and then a little bit of the developments where your career is concerned.
Okay. So good evening, everybody. My name is Ricardo Burnett. I'm born and raised in Cape Town. I'm a local gospel artist, a worship leader. So that's basically me, and I love God, love people, and then tonight we're just going to be speaking about the home, smart home. Yeah.
Let's talk about that, Ricardo. Let's talk about the smart home. So you started your journey with us. With your smart home journey, a couple of light bulbs. Actually, it was a speaker, and then now light bulbs and a couple other things. Tell us about what this smart home or the smart home devices. What has it done for you in your smart home journey?
Yeah, so I can remember visiting a friend, and that's where I saw the Google Home speaker, and I just fell in love with it, man. I was just amazed by it, and it's fun. So that's when I just decided I want one of these, and then I got it as a gift from the friend that I visited, Anna Jones. So she gave me that as a gift. I remember once.
We need friends. We need friends like that, Mark.
Ek wil nou gesê dat the moral of the story, kry vir jou regte vriende.
Yeah. You're breaking up there a little bit, Ricardo. I don't know if you can hear us again, but we want to find out if you can hear us. Find out about that journey. So your friend gave you that speaker, but that's how you started out your journey. Tell us more about that, if you happen to catch what I'm speaking to you about. So Mark, I don't know. I think he's got a bit of an issue there in the studio. Hello to you, Hanif, as well as Sandra.
Hey, Hanif.
Hello, Ethan.
Hey, Sandra.
Lots. We love the people that's lost.
Hello,
on here.
Ethan.
So we wait for Ricardo. Mark, let's quickly.
Oh man, about... Ricardo cycling.
Yeah. So
let's go. Yeah.
Let's talk about Glamtalk and the developments while we're waiting for Ricardo. Lots of things happening. Ricardo will probably come into the stream again, but lots of things happening within Glamtalk. And we want to talk about something that you're very excited about is, of course, the Home Assistant. And we'll bring Ricardo in.
Ricardo there.
Yeah, it's like a Carlo. Yeah, he's funny, man. Hook the man up with some decent Wi-Fi. But here's the thing.
That's what I said, Carlo. TP link. Was it alles from Ubiquity? Ethan can tell you about the Ubiquity. It's brilliant. Those access points. So you're right, Carlo. I agree. He needs to get hooked up with some upgrade there. Marco, maybe just before I go into the Home Assistant and the other stuff, just on Ricardo's journey. He's obviously been here, he's purchased, he's sat through a few demos and so on.
Meneer Director, alweer.
We're gonna get to that.
You
We're gonna
you
get to
go you
that,
go
Colin. But
talk about that journey quickly.
so with Ricardo, he came here one night, late at night, with another friend of his. I think it was Morgan Dennison, and
Morgan, yeah.
they came to get some speakers and stuff, and they went out here happy, shouting and laughing and so on. Haven't seen Morgan ever since. So we need to get
Are you
Morgan
outing
back.
the man now? You are.
No. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying we need to get Morgan back. Ons miss hom. Hy's 'n wat se naam? Hy's 'n vrolike fellow, and I like that. But just on Ricardo's journey, and then Ricardo comes back one night again, and weet hy's 'n nagkat, naguil, and he comes back with a car full of people, and they were amazed by the downlights because he had some downlights put into his studio, and they also had a mini, and I think there was a Chromecast involved, but he just started going for it, and he's interested in a lot more. And then Ricardo basically just to this is his song. And when we asked him about, hey Ricardo, who's your favorite artist and song title, and this is what he gave us. So you'll see his name is on the mug because that's his favorite song. Hy en sy favorite song is sy favorite mense in sy lewe. And Ricardo, we would love to hear from you. If you get an opportunity to jump back in the feed, please do. But yeah, Marco, let's jump onto that other stuff, the Home Assistant.
Yeah, but before you jump on there, I think that our viewers are jumping onto each other. Hanif says he's looking for his Aisuki TV, and then Ethan says Say TV, and now says Laugh Out Loud, we're gonna fight for it. No, you gotta pay for it. You gotta buy some stuff, man. That's what you gotta do. Let's get the Home Assistant quickly.
Okay, just on that Home Assistant. So on the Home Assistant, for you guys that don't know what Home Assistant is, so the whole smart home, it takes on different levels. So when you start out, even before the start, there's levels, right? So when you're starting your journey, you should be considering from a power supply point of view. You should be looking at that as a starter base. So if you've got load shedding in your area, which we all do, if you have situations where there's fluctuation in your power, whatever the case might be, then you obviously want something more stable. So from that point of view, you look at maybe getting backup power, be it a UPS or be it inverters, be it solar panels, windmills, whatever. So that's the first thing. Sort out that first. Once you've got that sorted out, then it is your Wi-Fi coverage, because all the products generally work on Wi-Fi. So then it's Wi-Fi, and I just saw on the screen there, Carla was mentioning that Ubiquiti is quite expensive. Carla, we actually stock Ubiquiti products as well. So if you guys are interested, we can hook you up with the access points, the APs, and so forth. But then that will be the second step. So we'll basically ensure that you've got coverage throughout the house, be it with a mesh router system or be it extenders, whatever the case is. But you need to have a frequency, Wi-Fi frequency, obviously everywhere. Then the third thing is the devices, buying the devices. So those are the three levels when it comes to setting up your home. But then in the home, when you talk about the smart home, now you've got all the devices. There are levels there as well. So the first level is everything is cloud-based, right? So you're on the cloud, be it Google, be it Amazon, Alexa, be it HomeKit, your Apple guys, or anything else for that matter. So it is normally cloud-based. So it's on the cloud, everything goes to a server, and from there, everything works. And no problem with that. That's the way everybody is going in any case, all the big companies. But then you've got what you want to work toward, and that is localizing your entire smart home, where you've got one computer in your house that controls all your devices. So whether your Wi-Fi kicks off, whether the ISP no longer supplies, or like in our case, we've always got issues with the service provider that is in this area, and then sometimes your Wi-Fi off for 8 hours of the day. So to not have that situation, you will then migrate to Home Assistant. So Home Assistant basically becomes all your smart devices operating within your home, controlled by yourself and not going out to the cloud, which means that, one, obviously a lot more security because nobody's able to access your internal devices. And two, you've got control. You can automate, you can set up your routines, a lot of powerful routines that comes into play and so forth. and just the way that you want to go toward that. That's where you work toward. So let's talk a little bit about Home Assistant. So what is Home Assistant? Home Assistant is basically open source site. We guys populate and give input into whatever is developed there every day. Thousands and thousands upon of people that is contributing to that particular platform on a daily basis. Home Assistant will most probably always be in a beta form, if I can call it that, and not really a plug and play solution, simply because um, it is just always developing. And also, there are too many things that you can add for it to be a plug and play unit. So currently, if you have a bit of money, I think 3,300, 3,400, 500 rand, you can actually import or buy yourself a Home Assistant Blue, which is essentially a device like this. You basically plug it into your power supply here, and you integrate via Wi-Fi all of your smart devices into that particular device. And then from there, via dashboard, you can then control whatever it is that you want to control, set up your routines, set up your threads and whatever else. So Home Assistant is the way to go. For those guys that are kind of familiar with what Home Assistant is, the easiest way to start yourself off on getting Home Assistant running in your home, the easiest way is if you have an old computer, laptop that you're not really using, or gaming console that you're not computer that you're not really use to do anything else really like work related, then use that as your setup for Home Assistant. Run everything through there and get going on that. If you don't have a computer, the cheapest way to then start off is to get yourself a Raspberry Pi, and on the Raspberry Pi you will then obviously either use a SSD or you can have a micro SD card into that, and basically run all your Home Assistant applications, automations, everything through the Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is like a small credit card size computer, 2 gig RAM, very powerful little device, and you can basically set up your home and run everything internally. Brilliant stuff, brilliant support out there. Tons of Dr. Z's on YouTube. You guys can go and check out Dr. Z's. He's always talking about Home Assistant. There's also guys like your Tech with Brett that's also now integrating into Home Assistant, and even Marco, even Paul Hebert is now talking Home Assistant because Tuya has made available or has opened up certain aspects of their hardware and on the software side to literally integrate with Home Assistant as soon as Home Assistant recognizes the devices in the home. So there's a lot of content around that. Raspberry, no, not that kind of raspberries, not that kind of raspberries. Marco, we've got no sound on your side, Marco.
That okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. But
That's it.
Mark, if we think about a year back, we're talking about Home Assistant and progressing, and this is the reason why we do this show, is to tell you about the developments in the smart home industry and from where we've come from and where we're heading. I think Ethan already Ethan loves the technology. Mark, you were out there yesterday as well, and we love journeying with the likes of Ethan, Mayring, and it could be you as well, where the installations and integrations and all of those things are concerned. But it's amazing, Mark, that we didn't speak about Home Assistant, although it was there, but it's how we progress. There's other things, of course, that we are heading into. I don't know if you are yet ready to talk about the digital display, but just in a nutshell, to simplify it for those tuning in now, about the Home Assistant, maybe you just want to tell them how it would simplify or even enhance their life in that regard.
Well, Home Assistant, essentially, it will be a computer that will be set up in your home, essentially, and that computer will basically be your hub. So from there, you will control anything, for that matter, that is smart in your home, and sometimes things that are not smart that you could, for example, get a bridge to make it smart, to enable it to do certain things. And Home Assistant is powerful. It's got, like I said, the automations that you can get out of that. That is the main thing. So essentially, Home Assistant becomes a computer that you basically control your entire home. From Home Assistant, you will then create dashboards. So if you've got a computer screen, then you will create a dashboard. On the dashboard, you can say, okay, this room has these lights, it has a fan, it has aircon. In this room, you've got maybe some other devices, RoboVax, whatever the case is, temperature sensors. You've maybe got PIR sensors in certain areas of the home. And Home Assistant on the dashboard, you can then basically say, okay, show me statuses of all of these. You can also then maybe Grafana, for those guys that know a bit more about how to make all the stuff look fancy. Um, Google Grafana or go onto YouTube, go and check out Grafana. And Grafana basically allows for you then to spice up your Home Assistant dashboards. So you can have graphs, so you can see, for example, okay, at this time of the day, there's a spike in electricity output in this room, or the aircon went on at that particular time. But when you look at the time when the aircon went on, the windows were open, for example. So those graphs then just makes it a lot more efficient, or allows you to become a lot more efficient in then fine tuning your smart home or your home to save energy or just make it a lot more fun. But again, it's not a plug and play solution. It's not a one size fit all. It literally becomes, okay, what I want is what I'm going to try and get out of this thing.
And so, of course, that can be customized to your particular needs in your home. But also, a lot of comments coming through at the moment. We're going to keep that for just a little bit later, for the sake of getting through what we need to get through. But there's some interesting things, Mark, about cameras and setups and NVR and the like. I think Ricardo's popped in the background there. And will you still be able to access your Home Assistant remotely? We'll get into that ideal a little bit later. Let's just quickly say hello to Ricardo Burnett again. Ricardo, hello.
Hey guys.
Ricardo back.
Het jy gaan airtime of wifi of ding gaan koop?
No, man. The problem here where I am, if it doesn't, that's networking. Not at all. Not even my daughter wanted to work now. So I'm back on the Wi-Fi, so hopefully it's gonna work now. Can we take off from where I left?
Okay, Mark, let him talk. Let I praat.
Okay,
Good
so
to have you back.
Go for it.
Mark,
okay, so I got the speaker. I got the speaker as a gift, and then a good friend of mine, Morgan Tennyson, he came to me, and then he saw the speaker. I introduced him to this Google Home speaker, and then he totally fell in love with this speaker. He also wanted one. I then gave Marcus contact details. Marco then said, okay, we must contact Mark. And then Mark invited us to his house to come and collect the Google Home speaker there. That's what I can remember. So when we got to Mark's house, I'm telling you guys, all of us, we were totally blown away. Because Mark's house is fully set up with the smart home. So he introduced us to his house and to the smart home. I don't know if I call it a kit. But he obviously has everything in his house. So the lights, from lighting, cameras, speakers,
music,
the switches.
To record a song that was playing when they came in.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, you even played my song. It was not Jammer op aarde. Yeah. So yeah, that's when I saw the lights, the switches, and everything basically. So
don't forget to show him his cup that he must still come pick up. Ek verstaan nie die klongie. And now he's got a new song out as well.
Studio, a recording studio, and then I told myself,
Ricardo, jy moet praat, jong.
Hey, I must confess that cup, guys. Yay! Yeshua, I love it. I really love it. I could have actually now, ik kan over my koffie gemaakt en my koppie.
Exactly. En die koffie proe baie beter in die koppies in.
Yeah, so basically we started the recording studio. And when we started the studio, I actually went to Google pictures of recording studios and stuff. And I saw the lights also then. I got reminded of the lights in Mark's house. Yay, ik maak hier een copy paste. So, to contact again, I don't know if you were marking Mark. I said, we're starting the studio. I want this. It's just so easy, man. So, like, you can just go in and say, hey, Google, make it. I put on Google Note. So it was so simple and easy. I can just walk into the studio, say, hey, Google, vocal booths lights purple. And daar gaan die ligte purple. And the people love it. Everyone that comes in there, they love it. They love it. Yeah, so basically, we set up the recording studio with lights. I bought some lights and I bought some switches. Obviously, we have the Google speaker. And then, yeah. So next week, I really want to do this in my place as well. I want to hook up my place with the lights, yeah.
Now, definitely, you need to let us know, Ricardo, when we must come to your studio. We would love to come and do some stuff there.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can.
Okay. It's just a little bit delayed, but we can hear you.
Okay. Another thing, before I forget, I just want to congratulate you guys on your first year birthday. Well done, guys, man. Well done. Big up to you guys.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
But I know the connection is not too great, but before you go, we still wanted to talk about your smarthome journey, but we get the picture that you fell in love with the products as well. But I know you also need to go. Let's just tell people about what you have lined up in the next few months or so. What new projects do you have that people need to know of?
Okay, so yeah, like Marcus said, we just released a new song called Jehovah. It's like kom. I don't know how really to pronounce the word. I think it's kom.
Like when you throw a marble in a gong in a bak water.
Ja. Al wat ze moet weten is die song ruk, né? Hy song ruk as al wat ze moet weet hy ruk.
Yeah, the people are telling me the song ruk and Marcus, thanks man for pumping the song. So yeah, it was totally out of my comfort zone, even with Yeshua. Ek is mos maar worship stadige mannetjie man. So I decided, okay, let's get out of your comfort zone and just try to after also listening to EKCs, you know, they also, I think they were the first people with like trying to go into gospel. Come. So yeah, so I decided to record the song again with DJ K Flow, and we're still busy with some music. Yeah, we're still busy with some music.
How do they get your new stuff, Ricardo, or just your music in general?
My music in general, they can get it on all digital platforms, the likes of iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Deezer, Spotify. Yeah, so yeah, it's available on all digital platforms.
Listen, we want to say thank you for your time. We wanted to have more time with you, but time is against us now as well. But thank you for being part of the Glamtalk journey and for being one of our valued clients, of course. And we look forward to journeying with you further.
Yeah, definitely. You must come and just get out my place completely, man. Mark, I want my house to look like your house, bro.
We'll be there soon, Ricardo. We'll be there soon. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much, guys, for having me. Bless you guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ricardo. Cheers, man. Until next time.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
So that was Ricardo Burnett, and you can check him out. He's got amazing music. If you're into gospel songs as well, his latest offering is called Jehovah. Ooh, die ding ruk. Gaan kyk het. Check it out on Spotify. Jy love it, lekker Wi-Fi it. Jehovah, Ricardo Burnett. But Mark, let's quickly move on with what we have on the show tonight. We were talking about the Home Assistant. Now it is time to talk about something that you are so crazy about at this moment, the digital display. And I'm going to just quickly put it on the screen there for people to see. It's in the background. You can see here that is what Mark is talking about. He'll tell you, oh, your man dope.
It's just compliments. It's just all compliments, Marco.
And your house as a compliment. Okay, tell us more about that. I know there's some people that can't wait to hear about what that thing does, but tell us more.
Well, the Glam display, basically, it's literally if you guys that know a bit about the smart home stuff, you got this thing that people started, I think it was about 6 years ago, where they were creating smart mirrors. So it was basically a two-way mirror, and then you've got this white text that just floats in the mirror. So it looks like this magical display. So ultimately, the smart display that you're seeing on the screen now, it's the same thing without the mirror. I just thought that the mirror has just become like the novelty afgeweer. Just doesn't look, to me, it doesn't look hot. And I just wanted to try and do something different. So we basically took an old TV. So it can be any TV as long as it's got a HDMI input. Took an old TV. This is a 32-inch old Telefunken, I think, TV. And it was in my aunt's room. And it was never put on because my aunt watches TV in the dining room. So took it off the wall, changed the orientation of it to portrait to the way you see it now. And then basically we set up a Raspberry Pi, the computer, not the cake. So we set up the Raspberry Pi and then load it onto the Raspberry Pi. Obviously, it comes with the Raspbian firmware or software on there already, and then on there you would basically load Magic Mirror, and then go onto the Magic Mirror Builder site, get some modules that you want to basically have programmed in there, and then you can customize this particular screen to however you want it to look. So what I've done, just for the purposes of tonight's show, we basically just set it up to display for those soccer lovers. So you'll see Arsenal's information on there right now. I think they are not in the top 5 as of Monday. So, but you'll see the information there. Arsenal on the backdrop, and every 5 minutes at backdrop changes
at the bottom.
at the bottom.
Of the
Only top 5. Only the top 5 is on
so
the
they
screen.
they won't be on there.
All what the under at top 5 is, you won't be on the screen, obviously, but you must probably, yeah. Let's wait for the weekend for match day 3 and so forth. Miskien kan julle opkom. But the display can be custom made into whatever you want. So for this purposes, like I said, we focused on EPL. So you'll have the English Premier League log. You'll have some sport news come up all day long on the bottom section, and you'll have some compliments. How your man dop, aware, phone box gesig, like nice stuff to get you laughing. So if you're in a bad mood and iemand sê vir jou, hou jou man dop, sommer net so uit die bloute uit, jy gaan lag. As jy nie wil lag, dan is jy nie 'n lekker persoon, dan is jy bitter. Jy moet bykom. But I think I'm just going to move closer, Marco, to that particular screen with the Glam Cam. Then I'll just show you some of the various display or the various modules that I've indicated or that I've inputted onto there. Very basic programming that is needed. So if you understand Python, then obviously this will be very, very easy for you to use or to program. But I'll just show you some of the custom stuff that we have put on there, which is very, very, very cool. And then I'll talk you through how else you can make this display pop for whatever environment you are in. And I would love to hear some questions from people if there's anything that you want to know in terms of so Marco or Mark, if I'm in this environment, how can something like this maybe assist me? On Facebook, I think we mentioned that if you've got a man cave or if you have a kitchen that you want to display like this, or if you have a bathroom, and you would think a bathroom doesn't make sense, but a bathroom is actually quite ideal for this kind of a display.
But also Mark, for those who trade as well, who love to trade, especially the Bitcoin and all of the other currencies as well. If you just want to stay current with that, that thing will display all the time. And also not forgetting the bottom of this display here, Mark. Will also be utilized. There's a portion there for your YouTube videos as well. If you want to put anything or you want to show anything there as well at the bottom. Maybe you want to just explain more on that.
Yeah, so the bottom portion, the bottom half, where you're seeing that wording there on the screen now, wow, you look hot, right? So from that point down, all the way down, half of the screen will basically serve as a screen to view. So I can cast from the computer or I can cast from my phone or whoever is connected to this particular network, I can cast YouTube videos to that particular screen. That screen will obviously then play from where it says Kaapstad out to 1 now down to the bottom. It will play those images or video, whatever it is that you're watching, if it's YouTube. It will play it on there, and the sound will come out because the Raspberry Pi has a Bluetooth radio as well. So the sound will then via Bluetooth come out of the speaker on this side. So it won't actually come out of the screen. The sound will come out somewhere else. And that is because of the module that I've installed to make that happen. So definitely, if you in the kitchen, for example, cooking up a storm, and you wanna like follow Fatima, for example, Sido, like a recipe of whatever it is that she makes, then it's very, very easy just to pull out the screen, tilt it towards yourself because it's got a bracket that you can really move around and so forth. And you can have your sound come through the speaker. You can have your video of whatever she's cooking up in the kitchen playing, and you can follow with her as well. And that makes it fun, as opposed to being in the kitchen and nothing is happening. Just net besig. Like I remember my grandma, especially Christmas time, they cook and it's like you're cooking, but there's no music. As lekker nie. Die kos bro lekker, maar the process is boring. So we wanna cater for the process as well, as opposed to just the end product. But
So you see that question on the screen for you. We must be spot on here. This is an IT guy that knows his stuff. Michael Jacobs, he wants to know about the device. We already said it's the Raspberry Pi, and obviously with the old monitor screen, we could talk about how we will roll this out. I know Ralden last week asked about what's the cost of this. We're still working on how best to roll this thing out, but know that it will be rolled out, and we could be talking to you as an individual as to what you may have, and we can bring the add-ons or we can supply everything. Maybe you want to just expand more on that, Mark?
No, for sure. And I think that's a good question because it is something that we are trying to wrap our heads around. So Michael, to answer your question, if you have a screen, that is first prize for us. We would want you to have a screen or have a TV or monitor, whatever the case might be, and then we will supply with the Raspberry Pi and a set amount of modules that will basically form a basis. If you want anything additional, then we can always talk about, okay, it's going to cost you maybe a few extra rand because it's going to mean more programming on our side, that kind of a thing. But ideally, we would want you to have your own screen. If you don't have a screen, then get the cheap screen from Cash Crusaders or from wherever it is that you get screens. But that will be the easiest way to do it. It's going to be very difficult for me to sell your product if I'm telling you that I must buy you a TV first and then I'm going to do this for you. It just doesn't make sense. So because it was geared as a smart mirror project, it would normally have been odds and ends and second-hand this and second-hand that to make this thing work. So all that we're trying to do is to encourage people maybe to go a bit better and make your house smart and so forth. Because what you can also do on the screen is integrate Home Assistant into there. So this is why we spoke about Home Assistant earlier, because now you can, for example, have a module, let's say half of the screen is just your smart home, so you can see all the statuses of all your lights, all your devices, what's playing on Spotify, what's playing on YouTube in another room or whatever the case might be, your camera feed, and all of that can be integrated with Grafana, Home Assistant, meshed into Magic Mirror, and you've got like a full-on custom display that's not a TV any longer, but actually just a fun thing that you can use to monitor all your smart stuff in your home. Home Assistant will be another module because, again, for Home Assistant to work, you need to obviously be registered on Home Assistant. So if we just put we can't just put a module on a Home Assistant module on there because it's not going to speak to any of your devices. So Home Assistant, you can either, if you've got a Home Assistant, then we can pull it into the whole Raspberry setup, no problem. But if you don't have a Home Assistant, then you need to obviously get Home Assistant first, or if you're getting the screen first, you can get Home Assistant later. But it won't come as part of the initial installation, if I can call it that, Michael. But Home Assistant will
asking,
will integrate. Yes.
I think they're asking fantastic questions, and you can also start populating some of the questions you want answered. We'll get to that in a few minutes, or maybe just a little bit later. But thank you so much for all of the participation tonight. We're simply loving that.
Yeah. And also, Marco, if I can maybe,
full of
sorry.
questions.
Yeah. Just to add also to Michael, is that he's an IT guy, so you would understand all of this stuff. Like for the various things to obviously work, like for example, your weather, your news feed, you need to obviously have the proper APIs and that kind of stuff, pull the information in. So so that is something to remember, that it's not going to be when we, for example, come out to you, we put the Raspberry Pi against the monitor and we plug it in and there you go. It will actually need work. We actually have to sit there, register certain things so that you can get certain APIs to pull information through. Be that if you, for example, want a medical screen and you want COVID information to pull through. Be that you want, for example, a exactly, Python, and this thing obviously it runs off Linux, the Pi. So again, not very difficult if you understand this kind of stuff, but anything is almost doable. Almost, not everything, but there's a lot that you can do. So I'm just putting that out there for people that know a bit more. But this is an awesome thing to get involved in.
So one more question there, Mark. We'll check that question. Do you
you offer training?
We can ask Michael to do that.
Yeah, we've got training. We've got training. It's called YouTube. Ze gaan nou op en dan set your earphones up and you just watch and you'll get it. Eventually you'll get it.
They say you're talking German there, bro. It's Greek in German. Mark,
it's not that difficult, guys.
Before we move on, though, let's quickly get to that giveaway. We want to give everybody a chance to be able to get to that giveaway. We're talking about, you got that book there with you, Mark. It's called
For the Love of the Land by Ivor Price, as well as Cobus Lawrence. So that's the book, For the Love of the Land. And it's all the book talks about inspirational stories about farmers that came up hard and eventually made it. But it's just very inspirational. So you really want to get your hands on this read. It's a brilliant read. And there is a follow-up to this book, which is basically the Afrikaans weergawe of For the Love of the Land. And that has been released, I think it is a month ago. So so we just want to say a very, very big thanks to Ivor Price for sponsoring 3 books, 2 already given away. The one we actually had to drive to Verliersdorp to go and drop off with Ralden. So I just want to say a big thanks to Ivor Price for sponsoring these books to Glamtech. Really, really appreciate it. So some lucky winners or Glamtechian will be getting a book tonight.
How are they gonna get that bookmark?
Well, they need to obviously respond on the comments again. So after the show last week, Marco, somebody actually said that, hey, I've got the answers to this, and I said, that's too late. It must happen now.
But didn't we say this is not for the after show? This is for the live viewers.
For the live.
It's for julle.
For the live.
Julle kan die boek kry.
Yeah.
How do they get it?
So it's easy one. This is a super easy one. What we want to know is if you can tell us who the guest was on Glamtalk 7, put the name up there and you'll win the book. The guest of Glamtalk 7, if you know who that is, put the name up on the screen, and the first correct answer that comes through wins the book. Respond.
Let's see.
I know. So easy peasy. Put the name up on the screen. Glamtalk 7 was our guest, and the book will be yours.
Sure, they gotta go do some homework. You tough, eh? I'm not sure. I don't even know. Who was it?
Makkelijk.
Who was it? I know who it is. But
There's one answer
There's one answer for you there.
Well, there's an answer. I don't know if
It's
it's
an
the right
answer.
one, but that's an answer.
It's an answer. Lucky guess. You can go check out on our Facebook or on YouTube. You can see who's the guest for Glam Talk 7. And then just pop it into the comment section there, and the first person to answer gets the book giveaway.
Yeah.
And there's another answer.
There's another answer. There's another answer. Well, we keep it coming until 10 to 10
There's
to
really,
we'll announce
I think
who the
it's
winner is. 10 to
I
we'll
think it's
announce who
fairly
that winner
obvious
is.
if you think book giveaway. Think book giveaway. But let's talk about. Did I give it away there, Mark?
Yeah.
Um, I gave it away. Think book giveaway. There's the answer. But in the meanwhile, while we're waiting for them, this is what we want to concentrate on in the next segment, talking about communication, security, and entertainment. And I think
Yeah.
this is for everybody. And last week we spoke a little bit about when both of us were ill in the last 3 to 4 weeks, how communication became a big part of us being isolated and being able to communicate with the
Yeah.
family members in the home and outside of the home. And maybe you want to talk a little bit more about that, Mark, about the communication aspect. There's so much to it in terms of what we can do communication wise, where the smart home environment is concerned.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, with the communication, as what we alluded to last week, was that there are so many um, ways for me to be able to communicate when I was really not able to move around. And this is within the home. I'm not even talking about taking out my cell phone. Cell phone could have been dead, for that matter. But I was still able to speak to my family, to speak to friends, to speak outside of my home, to video calls, and even text messages, even Zoom meetings. I could set up via my Google Home, or my Nest Hub. So many things that could have happened, that was possible, that would not have been possible if I didn't have these devices at home. So my home has really become a lot more of a space which is interactive, as opposed to just a dead thing where you come and you sleep and that's it. You wake up tomorrow, you pay your bond end of the month, and that's it.
Yeah. Then
And
what?
you ask yourself, 20 years of just paying, if you one of the unfortunate ones, 20 years of just paying a bond, and all you do is you sleep and you prepare your food, and you're not there most of the time. Now fortunately we work from home most of the time, so yeah, you are at home. But prior to that, it was basically just sleeping, eating, and that's it. You don't even see the home. So now you've got a space where you can engage with the home,
Yeah.
through the home, and that makes it fun. It changes everything.
There's two aspects here, Mark, of the smart home is that previously we would think that Wi-Fi and the internet was a luxury, a nice to have, but
Yeah,
now it's become a must have. So there's the one
yeah,
aspect. The second
yeah,
one is you spoke about it, that you could be a homeowner and you're paying a bond. Why not make the most out of the experience in your own home? And we were thinking maybe a year or so back, maybe 2, 3 years back, that what we are offering as a service seemed like it was a little bit further down in the future. And we've also maybe seen it on TV and thought maybe that's not for us. But the good news, it is for you, and it's affordable and it's accessible. So why not enhance your own lifestyle and your own living standard by then improving it with smart home devices? But also, if you have Wi-Fi, now that you have Wi-Fi, what are you going to do with it? You're going to just
yeah,
watch Netflix and series and whatever you want. Now, this is the time where you can enhance what's happening in your home. So, I don't want to speak to my devices here now because I'm going to activate it. But you don't have to touch light switches anymore. You don't have to.
nope,
Your music, you just speak. It's like you speak to your devices, and there's music, there's whatever you want to. And
yeah,
it's not
magic.
about getting lazy. It's not about getting lazy. It's about really making it more comfortable for you and your family. And if we look back at a few weeks back, when it was so much easier just to be able to, even while you're in your room, to speak speaker to speaker to your family, to go do your video calls, to do your duo calls outside of your home to somebody. They could be even at the shop phoning you to your speaker in your home. Those are the some of the fun things. And then when we look at the lights going on at certain times, and I look at my home, um, so I can see how the season is changing also. Just for interest sake, I can see
Yeah, yeah,
that the lights are going on later, because
correct.
my setup is like that.
Yes,
So
it was sunset and
previously, what was
sunrise.
the other
Yeah,
day was 5 o'clock. Now you start to see is getting the lights are coming on later and later and later. That's also a way of also, if you think about it, saving money in terms of not having the lights on all the time. It's your choice, but also if you, for instance, want to save a little bit more, what you could do is put your lights on certain percentages. And it's amazing when we look at our smart light bulbs, even 1% is very, very bright. Imagine you keep your lights
it's
on
bright.
something like
Yeah,
10% or 20%. That's your
yeah.
preference. Whereas with your normal light bulbs, unless you have a dimmer switch, you can't do those type of things. That's just one of the practical ways of what the devices will do for you.
Definitely, definitely, and exactly that. Ultimately, you're saving if your devices are controlled or automated. You're saving because those devices will go off. Those devices, like for example, you've got some of your stuff has a red light on because the device is still on. There's phantom power. There's still power. It's still being powered. So ultimately, it's using electricity. So if you, for example, had a little relay in the the socket, you can cut power to that device completely. There's no power going to the device. Or if you've got a smart plug, you can cut the power to the device. No phantom power. There's no power running through it, and you can monitor that. Obviously, you can see what the usage is on your phone. So those are things that weren't really possible a few years ago because the technology might have been there, but it was maybe too expensive,
Not
and we didn't
and
have
not
those devices
accessible for
available,
everybody.
not
Yeah,
accessible. Exactly, and
yeah,
now with this, like Michael is saying, this aggressive rollout of fiber throughout the province, throughout like I'm in Cape Town, so throughout our province, everybody
mm,
in the next 2 years, I would think, will have access to Wi-Fi, fiber,
yeah,
stable connection, and the great thing now, and I don't know, Mark, if it affects you guys as well, but what's happened now was you've got, for example, your Octotels, your Vumatels, your ek kan nou nie by almal die ouens se name kom nie, but the guys that does, I'm not talking about the ISP, I'm talking about the people that lay the line, those
yeah.
fiber
The
lines,
infrastructure. Yeah, yeah,
infrastructure, trenches dig. So those companies have now come out and said, hey, this 10 upload and 10 download, we don't have that anymore. We don't have the 15 anymore. So they start you out now on 35-25, and then
25
you can
or
up to
25.
50-50.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that is now a standard, which means that your the speeds are better, which means that there's less lag and all of that kind of stuff that's happening, which is great for everybody. And guess what? Because it's not an upgrade on your end; it's an upgrade on the service provider's end. You're not paying for that additional speeds. So ultimately, it's getting better. OpenServe as well. So it's getting better, and ultimately, it creates a platform for us to have smart homes. So definitely going forward, the future looks bright.
yeah. And again, it is something that's going to be in most homes in the next 2 to 3 years. So you may be saying, but Marco, what are you talking about? I think you may be exaggerating there. But if we look back at the cell phones, and we've mentioned it before, when it came out, a lot of us probably thought, I can't afford that, or how's everybody going to have a cell phone? So I'm speaking to you via my laptop. I've got a phone down at one side. I've got another device. I've got a few of these devices, and it's not about I'm not rich. I'm just saying we thought that how are people going to have these devices, and now we have it, and it's the same. Like,
Yeah.
so how do you see smart home devices in practically every home in the next 2 to 3 years? It's easy because of what's being rolled out in terms of the fiber, in terms of the infrastructure that is already there. So we're asking you again. So you have a home, you have Wi-Fi. Is that it for you? Now you have the ability to in 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 very very quick time to make yourself smart home enabled very, very quickly. And it's not that difficult. It's not even we have to hardwire you. In actual fact, if you're thinking of sprucing up your home, and we'll give an example where at one of our clients that in his particular flat, he simply had a few devices in there and he's renting out that space because all the person that's renting the flat now sees, what is this? Smart home stuff. Same thing for your house.
Yeah.
Imagine you sell your house with all of your smart home devices like switches and lights and even your other forms of communication there. It's magic stuff. So have a big think on it, and I'll put on our website address there. You can go check it out yourself. It's amazing stuff on there, and we're always adding more devices there, more products there, just to make your life easier.
Yeah, 100%, Marco. And again, at the end of the day, it's about enjoy. I don't know. For me, it's about enjoying life. You can't just be sucking air and then that's it. You need to enjoy life. So these devices, it makes life, I think, more comfortable, more pleasant, and so forth. And it's not expensive. It's not expensive. I agree as a Glamtickian. We enjoy the convenience. Exactly. It's about convenience. It's about
No, but wait,
um.
You're missing something that he said is so cool.
Okay,
He
go
says
for it.
as a glam techian. Did you check that? He lost me there when he says as a glam techian. I love that. I don't know what he said after that. That's cool also, but he is a glam techian, Mark.
No, but definitely, and again, like he says, his wife can duo call him at any time, and that obviously from his phone, from his Pixel Buds, from wherever, from the home, from his 7-inch or his 10-inch, or wherever it is. And again, it's about the convenience. It's about enjoying life and making things more easier. If you think about this, Marco, a few years back, you would, for example, go on holiday, and you wouldn't know your alarm goes off at home, right?
Yeah.
ADT is miskien nie geconnect, het miskien nie gebetaal daai maand nie. So your alarm works, but there's no arm response. And you wouldn't know if the alarm is sounding unless your neighbor's going to phone you and tell you, hey, your alarm is going off here for 3 days already. Now you've got the convenience of having a camera that you can literally see, hear, and that kind of thing. That camera might cost you, depending on what you buy, 600 Rand. So for 600 Rand, which is a once-off payment, you don't have a monthly subscription of any sort, and you've got that convenience now. It's a bit better than what you had before. And this is what we're saying is that it's not that expensive if you really think about it, as opposed to what it used to be. So the quicker you get into it, the easier it is for you. Set yourself a small budget and get going on this. Like you said, Marco, a few years from now, this will be normal. Everybody will have this. If you don't have this, like for example, you're gonna get kids that's gonna be coming into homes, and if you've got an older home with dom devices, dan gaan die leiders begin te praat met die speaker, en die speaker gaan nie terugpraat, en they're gonna like, Daddy, the speaker's not responding. Wat gaan aan?
Yeah.
Wat gaan
Oh,
aan?
the pressure, pal. You're gonna be under pressure. But I think Ethan makes a good point. Let's not forget about the safety and security aspect, and that's where I want to head into, because we're running fast out of time here.
Yeah,
But
so
love the
take that, man.
interaction from you guys. You guys are amazing. But let's talk about that, Mark. You mentioned something about going on holiday, and maybe Ethan can tell us about going on holiday, and we're going to set him up even royally in terms of being even more secure, being able to watch out for his own home when it doesn't matter where in the world he is. But talk about that, Mark. Previously, we had to get people to come check out the house, come into the house, check whatever. Now you have the ability to see into your home and speak to whatever. If there's somebody in the home, there's other things that we can add to your home setup, of course, that will make it easier without having a key, but you can have a code, all those type of things. But that is the security aspect of what we previously didn't have. And the beauty of it all is you can see it on your app, whether the device is on or not, armed or whatever it is. Whereas previously you had to have somebody go in there, or security company. Now you can be your own security company. You can be your own house sitter and not even having to be at home.
Correct. And that extends even to if you have pets, where you can have a pet feeder at the back, in the yard, in the home, wherever, that operates via Wi-Fi. So it doesn't matter where in the world you are. You can activate making sure that the dog gets food or gets water from anywhere in the world. No need for a key to a neighbor or to a cousin or to a brother or to a sister. Wat miskien jou fridge gaan raid. So those are the kind of things that makes this obviously make this work. But again, from a security point of view, yes, smart door locks, smart deadbolts, cameras, PIR sensors, contact sensors, motion or location sensors. So on our doors, for example, we have location sensors. So if the door moves 1 degree, then it's no longer on the same location, which means the alarm will not go off. No contact, just the matter of the door moving. So there are so many aspects to this, so many levels to it. And once you get into it, then you will start to understand, this is what I need. When you don't have any of this, then it's very easy to nitpick and say, but this can't work because of that. But what are you measuring, or what are you measuring that against? Like when you're saying that, for example, and I'm just going to mention the company's name, Chubb or ADT, for example, when they provide you a service, that is a service that is owned by them. You're technically renting their services. And once that contract ends, you're back to square one. You don't have anything in place other than the alarm is going to make a noise in the roof that you might not hear if you're sitting in Thailand or if you're sitting in Switzerland. You're not going to hear the alarm. You're not at home. Versus you having an app, push notification comes through to your phone, literally being able to call somebody and say, hey, next door I can see movement there, or I've seen this car pass by the house so many times. This is the registration. Can you guys please just go and take a look? Whatever. It just becomes James Bond.
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
And Michael says, most definitely, if you research Internet of Things, you will be exposed to the wonderful world of AI and machine learning, which is definitely the future. So amazing. And love the tech guys being on here. But I want to say one thing, Mark. The one thing that I can guarantee, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. And not because of the weatherman telling me that. It is because of this guy. Goeienaand, godsmanne. That is you.
Wow. Morgan Dennison, he's here. He's terug. It's going to rain. I think it's raining.
It's raining. Just check if there's other things flying out there as well. Cold day.
Welcome back, Morgan.
Hello, Morgan, man. But listen, Mark, I quickly want to get to our winner for our book giveaway. I think there was one person that came through earlier. There was lots of congratulations coming through. I just got to go scroll up there. I think it was it Carlo?
I think it was Carlo. Carlo was the first correct answer. Jill Liebenberg. They say Anwar. So Carlo, this is yours. Well done, buddy. This is yours. You will have to come and collect it though. David Wijk is. So the book, I'll get it wrapped. I'll put a bow on it.
We have amazing people, man. Like, look at Ethan just simply saying, well done, Carlo. I see it is Jill Levenberg. He also, I think Carlo Ethan wanted that book. Maybe next time we'll be like Oprah and we'll say to you, look under your seat. You get a book. No. Look here as a budget. Maybe one day. So I just want to scroll through Mark. I think there were a few other comments that came through earlier. I'm not too sure. So guys, if we've missed one of your questions, maybe you want to pop it into the comment section now. And excuse me, we can then just quickly answer that before we go. Mark, is there anything you still want to mention before we get to that section?
Yeah, just on let me just get to that 42-inch, Marco. I don't know if you want me to go there quickly.
Yeah.
Let's go to the 42-inch because the man wil weet.
Hulle klaar beklei. Ek weet die is Genief en Ethan en is myne en is syne en is pyne. Ek weet ons gaan julle nou vertel hoe werk die saak. Sê vir hulle Mark.
So 42-inch. So basically on the 42-inch, how this thing works is from the 1st of January up until 2021, up until the 22nd of December 2021, you are allowed to purchase from Glamtalk and whenever you reach 1,500 Rand. So it doesn't matter if you're buying something of 180 now and buying something tomorrow and next month and whatever. If it gets to 1.5, we've got all your invoices or copies of them. When it gets to 1.5, then you've got one entry into the draw. The draw happens on the 23rd of December. So you are allowed to enter into the draw until the 22nd of December, but the 23rd, the actual draw happens live on our Christmas broadcast. And on that day, we will basically draw from the hat. The name that comes out of the hat is the name that wins a 42-inch LED smart TV. So you will be winning a TV from Glamtalk. We will make sure that it gets its ribbon and its bows and whatever, and it shall be huis uitkom. After the 23rd, obviously, hopefully before the 25th. Hopefully it will stand under the Christmas tree if you've got that. But the 42-inch will be somebody's, one of whoever has been purchasing from us over the period of a year. So anybody that's purchased before the 1st of January in 2020 last game, you need to have purchased from the 1st of January. So 1,500 Rand gets you one entry, one name, your name once in the hat. If you purchase 15,000 Rand, that's 10 names in the hat. Better chance. If you purchase 150,000 Rand, that's 100 names in the hat. Buy a goeie kans om my TV to win. So guys.
Let's give you TV's here. Let's car.
We can make that happen, guys. We can make that happen. We can make that happen. Misschien een i3. Maybe a BM i3.
Listen, the more they buy, the bigger the price. So you guys buy
the more you buy.
We could get you like a Tata Indica or something like that. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But you guys need to buy, of course. Maybe let's go check out at the bottom. You'll see the website, the e-commerce site. Go and buy the kit. Yeah. Mark, how much must they buy again for? 1,500, eh?
1,500. 1,500 is one entry. So the more you purchase, the more entries into the hat. And obviously, the more entries, the bigger the chance of winning. So last year's winner, Adinal Roman. We haven't seen Eddie on this channel for a little bit, but I am making my way to Eddie sometime, either this week or next week. We need to go and drop off some stuff with him. But you guys need to get into it. Ons maak jokes soos doen die ding regtig. So buy your stuff, get into it. Dat TV kan maklik Ceres toe gaan, dat TV kan maklik hier na southern suburbs toe gaan. It could go to the northern suburbs. It depends on what name comes out of that. But you must buy. You must be in it to win it. If you're not going to be in that hat, you're not getting anything. So yeah, that's on. I just wanted to give some feedback on that 23rd of December giveaway. We're excited for that now already. We know it's still a few months away, but we're excited for that.
Excited for that. But on that, Mark, let's just quickly talk about that. If you're very clever, you can start buying those particular gifts, either for yourself. In fact, why don't you become your own Santa Claus, man? Become your own Father Christmas or Father Christmas. Buy it for yourself. Don't tell them that you're buying it for yourself. But think of those gifts that that you can. Hey, die mense is gevaarlik hier. Hy gaan boek op toe kom. Hy sê heritage site. Ons kan nie enige ding daar sit nie gaan nie. So you got to think of those Christmas presents. And Mark, we still have the lay-by function available if they want to go that route. But I think if you smart, and you should be smart if you're a Glamtalkian, stop putting that money away now already because it's going to be hot. Last year, December, it was niks meer nie. Toe gaan het gerook. We had to get stock in very, very quickly for January as well. Don't miss out, people, because it's going to be a hot box come that time.
Yeah. Marco, just maybe for me, I just want to reflect on last week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the well wishes for our first year anniversary. And also a well done to Aiden, Orden Hector. I think it's Orden Hector. Yeah, Orden Hector, Asia Kutsia, and Ralden Juries. Those were the winners of some light bulbs that we gave away last week. We gave away 5 smart light bulbs. So the prize was valued just under 1,000 Rand. So well done to those guys. Thank you to Orden that he came out to come and collect. He had some fun. He ended up being here for 2 hours, just going through the smart stuff that we had on offer.
Always happens, Always happens like a kid in the candy store.
Yeah. So again, thank you to you guys for the support. Thank you for making this work, for making this channel happen, and for all the future stuff that we want to get involved in. We just want to ask you for your continued support, because without you, this is impossible. And this obviously feeds other opportunities, be it working opportunities for people, or be it the school initiative that we are running. But this makes all of that happen. So thank you so much for you guys' support.
Yeah, I want to cotton on to that and say thank you. Carlo says, Mark, I'll see you tomorrow. He wants
No
his
problem,
prize.
Carlo.
And
See you
then,
tomorrow.
yeah, I wanted to say thank you to you as well. And Mark and myself spoke this morning about tonight's episode, of course, and we were just reflecting on this last year. And we want to say thank you to you because this is not just about just selling the product or being a company that makes money and all of that. Yes, we want to do all of that, but the main aim also would be that we want to give back. We've been doing that all the while as a startup, and we will continue to do that. We want to be part of the community. Nou kyk nou hierso. Julle mense, dit gaan reën, maar ons kan nie ons is nie daai types of company nie, man. Dis nie, sit net daai ekstra geld, dan sit hy ander geld by daar so. Dit gaan nie gebeur nie. Kom terug. Hy man kom in 'n ou prys. Guys, that was the last time he was here. That's how long ago he was here. Ja. Sy kan maar gaan self aan die bid daar so bid in tongues, brother. Listen, ek gaan dit los daar so comedy hour here on Glamtalk is over. But Mark, thank you so much. Thank you to all the listeners or viewers. We've had a blast with you guys. Season 2 kicked off with a bang. And yeah, Season 2, episode 1. We are go till next time. Colin, thank you so much, sub-director, mini director. It was awesome. 2 Glam Talks in a row. Well done. Thanks, Mark. Thanks,
Well done.
everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you, guys.
everybody. Till next time. We, like I said, we had a blast with you guys, and looking forward to Glam Talk 14. That is at the end of next month, the last Thursday of next month. And with that, we got to say goodbye.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Just in closing, Marco, voor dat laatste goodbye say, we might ask one of you guys, our loyal customers, to be part of our next Glam Talk. So we might be calling on you to come in as one of the guests in the studio.
Who will it be? That's the question. Till next time, God bless you. Cheers, everybody, and bye-bye.